is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show. This
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura Integra, $289 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and they're the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you can get some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla. Not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2024 Acura ZDX, $299 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, good morning. On the sports side, it's not a good morning. On the crypto side, it's a beautiful morning. I just want to thank Chainlink and Cardano and Bitcoin and Avalanche and Jasmine. And, I just want to thank them for getting me through all of this. H-bar, my God, H-bar, so I just want to thank them because without crypto, I don't know if I could really handle this Dolphin and Canes season. It's funny because I get a text from a friend of mine. He's a huge media personality in news, big Dolphins fan. He goes, "You're so on the money here. Was born in 75. My first Dolphins game that I ever attended was the epic 81 playoff game in the Orange Bowl against San Diego. We lost 41-38 in overtime. Uwe von Schamann blew it. We missed and blocked a field goal. And that unforgivable Andre Franklin fumbled deep in San Diego territory that would have clinched the miracle comeback and the game. I cried all the way home in my car, and the next week, still not over it. Every season since then has been nothing but pain and heartache with only a few good moments to offset the suffering. The 83 A.J. Dewey Mud Bowl AFC Championship game, the glorious 84 Marino regular season, the 84 playoff wins against the Seahawks and Steelers, and the 85 regular season Monday night win against the undefeated Bears. That's it for me. Outside of those precious few moments of Dolphin bliss, the rest of my Dolphin fandom has been black clouds of sadness, negativity, and wasted energy and time. I don't even care about the Dolphins anymore. Sure, I'll watch them like a bad habit to a bad addiction, but they broke me for good after Monday night's miracle against the Jets in 2001. They are absolutely a soft and broken poverty franchise." It's really no way of putting it that's perfectly put right there by that Dolphin. And it's just, and for those of you, by the way, for the young writers and for a lot of you fans that are young or something, this has been going on for 40 years. The problem that we have in this town is it's blasphemy to say anything wrong about Shula. But what you see now is what used to happen with Shula towards the last 10, 15 years. All of Marino's big stage moments are disasters. All of them. He never ended a season on a positive. The one time he went to the Super Bowl, the Dolphins looked like they didn't even belong on the same field with San Francisco. They look fraudulent. They look finesse because that's what they were. See, San Fran could score a lot of points just like Miami could. The difference is San Fran could get in a street fight. Miami couldn't. None of Marino's teams could get in a street fight. In fact, that's been the problem with the Dolphins. They could never get in a street fight. Why? Because they're too busy out on Art Deco Beach or South Beach or whatever era you want to call it, right? Because we used to call it more Art Deco back in the day in 80s. So the Marino teams were soft as hell. And they got pushed around all the time in the big moments. And Buffalo owned them and slapped them around just like they do now. Nothing's changed. And really, in the end, what has to change is the people that are coaching. The talent, there's nothing wrong with the talent. I keep telling you this. You can win a lot of games with this talent, but you have the wrong people coaching it. And that's where they screwed up. Marcus May is making an interception for the Chargers in the end zone. Chris Brooks, he ran 3 times for 28 yards against the Dolphins. They were part of the Dolphins. Were they soft? No, it's that they were part of a soft organization. And now they're with other organizations, and they look better. Just like every Dolphin that leaves. Wes Welker wasn't a winner here. He was a winner in New England. Larry Izzo wasn't a winner here. Larry Izzo was part of all the choke jobs by Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson's teams would get to the playoffs and get thoroughly embarrassed, dude. Thoroughly embarrassed. Twice they made it past the wild card round to get embarrassed. Once they made it once past the wild card round to get embarrassed. You know, as I've said for many years, the wild card teams basically are teams that really shouldn't be in the playoffs. Because you look at their performances, rarely they're, unless they were injury riddled throughout the year, and that's why they had so few losses and they just barely got in, but they were really a quality team, or, you know, a storyline like that, that could happen. But most of these wildcard teams, you know, they're just not really good enough. Like the Dolphins, whenever they make it, they're really not good enough to get anywhere. They're just lucky to get enough to get in. And that's because the league doesn't really have that many quality teams. So the teams that are getting into the playoffs on the back end of it are shitty. That's our Dolphins, a team that's mediocre, team that's below average. Average on its best day is what they are. And this is what's been going on forever. And I know that everybody wants changes, right? And I don't know what they're going to do, to be quite honest. There's a good chance that they'll keep and bring back everybody. But I'll tell you this, the one person that you really have to change, it's the one person you've had wrong for 40 years, dude. You've had the wrong coach every single time. And it didn't matter if it was Jimmy Johnson or Dave Wanstead or Joe Philbin or Cam Cameron or Flo or McDaniel. They're all the wrong coach. You keep hiring the wrong coach. Shula, wrong coach. Sadly, he was the wrong coach the last 10, 15 years, pretty much. About 12, 15 years, since Marino. He was the wrong coach. Shula got soft. As hardened as he was with that chin, his teams were complete wussies. All they did was pass the ball. They couldn't punch anybody in the mouth and run the ball. They couldn't dominate on defense. They never won the line of scrimmage, ever. Complete wussies. It all started with Shula. But it's blasphemy to say that nowadays. You know what I'm saying? But sadly, that's the case. The old man got exposed because he lost all his personnel people. And because he sucked at personnel, it exposed him. And then every time he had a team, it was soft. And since then, it's been a soft organization. And it started with Shula, and it still goes on to this day with Mike McDaniel. Soft. And Jimmy, with all his rah-rah bullshit, his teams did nothing whenever they got to the playoffs. They got thoroughly handled and embarrassed. So they've done they do what they've always done for a long time. Even in the Shula days, Jimmy, Wanstead, whatever till now, you beat up the crappy teams, and when push comes to shove and you got to play quality teams, they beat you 98% of the time. Okay, not 100, because, you know, the sun does shine on our asses every once in a while. You know, every once in a while. I mean, that's just kind of the reality, unfortunately, of the Miami Dolphins. Can't change it. And so many of you, you know, you older fans out there, you have a problem, you know, saying the Shula stuff. And, you know, and then the young people, they think it's something that's only been happening the last 5-10 years. And no, dude, it's nearly 40 years of this. No, it is 40 years of this. Yeah, because we're in 2024. So yes, it's 40 years of this. 40 years, they fold in every big moment. 40 years, the Dolphins get punched in the mouth and they fold like a little bitch. Marino teams, Jay Fiedler teams, doesn't matter who it is, dude. Cam Cameron teams, what's it called? Sperano. God bless, rest in peace. You know, a great man. And, you know, what's it called? The blue collar guy. They won their 11 games that year. What happened when they got to Baltimore? Was it 20-3, 20-6 or something? An absolute domination. They punched them in the mouth and they sent them home. Why? Because the Dolphins are soft. Doesn't matter the era. Doesn't matter the coach. Doesn't matter. And it's not the players. Philip, I think it's Dillingham, if I'm correct, on Twitter. Yeah, Dillingham. He tells me if the Dolphins want to change the soft label, start with this. And he puts Michigan defensive lineman Kenneth Grant, right? Which is true, a good player, terrific inside guy you need on the line. Problem is, so was Tim Bowens. You still were folding against the Bills. Zach Thomas is a tough guy, still folded like a cheap 10. The Dolphins ruin the players. That's why I tell you, they didn't want to keep Chris Brooks with you and I knew they needed Chris Brooks, right? You and I knew. I want to say most of you were smart enough like I was. Like, no, you keep Chris Brooks because he brings some thunder to the game. They need that. Well, they chose not to, and now he provides it for Green Bay against Miami. You know, it's not the player, okay? It's the environment that's here. And all the players that join this environment become what this environment is. Soft. What this environment is. You're here for vacation. What this environment is, you don't take winning seriously. You don't, it's not your end all be all. The Kansas City Chiefs were voted as the worst facilities in the NFL. Worst everything, like all kinds of shit that they provide the players, the worst, and they're winning titles. Meanwhile, we have Club Med here. I don't know, man. They used to win titles when they were in Biscayne College with rats. It's all about environment, man. It's all about environment and the people that lead you. It's interesting. Because when we look at the Dolphins and the Hurricanes, it's the same shit. It's the same shit, except it's only been going on for 20 years, not 40 years. But it's the same shit. Soft-ass team that folds in big moments, and it doesn't matter. Let's see. Mike McDaniel is the nice guy. Mario Cristobal, he's the bad cop. So you got the good cop, you got the bad cop. What's the results in big moments? Fold like a cheap tent. We got one guy, tough, Cuban, hard nose, hard working. The other guy, soft, wearing all the finest little threads and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And everything will be all right. Results in big moments, same shit. Same shit. One guy likes lattes. The other guy likes Cuban coffee. Same shit. Results, same shit. I'm not, one's tall, one's short. Results, same shit. Dolphins, you have Shula. Results, same shit. Tough guy, Jimmy Johnson. Results, same shit. Cam Cameron, Mr. Understanding, same shit. What's it called? Wani with his sayings, and by the way, feed the wolf too with Sperano. Same shit. Adam Gase, he discovered social distancing before anybody else. Results, same shit. Joe Philbin cleaning up the floor. Results, same shit. Flo, Mr. Hardass, go touch the wall. I hate you, Tua. Same shit. Mike McDaniel, same shit. Doesn't really matter. You don't hire the right guy. It's not that you don't hire the right bad cop, the right good cop. You don't hire the right guy. That's it. They're all failures, dude. From Shula to Mike McDaniel, they're all failures. That's the real brutal honesty. Just like Randy Shannon, just like Al Golden, just like Mario Cristobal, they're all failures. None of them can build a tough team like used to be tough. They used to spank people. They used to dominate people. You never saw defense like that under the Canes. Are you kidding me? Mario Cristobal, Mr. Tough Guy, Mr. Cuban Coffee, Mr. I still bench 350 pounds. Oh, what's going on, bro? You're the wrong guy. That's what you're proving right now, Mario. I'm not saying yet that but right now you're proving you're the wrong guy. You're proving that you're the same fraud that the Dolphins have been producing. Yeah, you can beat some of the shitty teams. And then when you get tested against real teams, you get spanked and sent home. I mean, Mario Cristobal has two doozies. Okay, not going for that touchdown, showing no balls whatsoever, knowing your defense cannot stop anybody. Okay? And by the way, Mario, you could have some balls to stand up there on the podium and say, hey, guys, I had to go for it. Our defense wasn't stopping anybody. Oh, but you can't do that because, you're insulting Lance Guidry? Well, Lance Guidry deserves to get insulted. In fact, Lance Guidry deserves to get fired. I'm sure you won't hear that on the flagship station because, I'm sure they don't have any balls over there. But we'll say it over here where we've got balls because even if I was on the flagship station, I would be saying today, Lance Guidry needs to get fired. But, And by the way, Mario Cristobal should be on the hot seat in the next year or two here. You're spending a lot of money with zero results, dude. A lot of hype, and you don't do shit. The Dolphins and the Canes are in the same position. A lot of money's being spent. There's a lot of hype going on, and both, it's not the players, both have the wrong guy coaching right now. Because Mario Cristobal, he's not winning shit, dude. And Mike McDaniel certainly doesn't win shit. At least Mario is worse than Mike McDaniel. You know that, right? Because he gets to go recruit all kinds of 4 and 5 stars. You only get one first-round pick every year if you have one. So I look at this and it's amazing to me. Okay? It's amazing how they mirror each other. And it's all about the coaches. How many players do we see over the last 10, 15 years that underachieve here and then go to the NFL and play better? Right? We see it all the time. It happens. And we're like, well, wait a minute. That guy wasn't that good here, but he's pretty good in the NFL. Like, what happened? It's the people you have coaching. Just like here. It's not our Dolphin players go to other places and win titles and help other teams win and play in big moments and make plays in big moments. But then when they come here, it's like vacation. And the problem has been that Shula, till now, none of them are good enough. And that's why we pushed Shula's ass right out the door for Jimmy Johnson, because Shula wasn't getting it done. His teams were soft and kept choking in every big moment. Like I told you, every big moment with Marino is an embarrassment. The biggest games of his career in a Dolphin uniform were embarrassments. It's just the way it went. It's not his fault. If he's on a different franchise, he might have multiple rings. Not one ring, multiple rings. But that happens. You will ruin the player. And that's what I was telling Philip Dillingham. It doesn't matter who you draft. If the environment doesn't change, you will ruin the opportunity. We've had some pretty good teams here in the past. It's just you've had shit leadership. Sorry. I mean, I'm going to tell you brutally what is going on. And from Shula till now, everyone that's a head coach is not good enough. Everyone, including Shula. And the same issues that were going on the back end of Shula's career, it's the same shit that continues to go on now. Soft-ass team that folds in every big moment. And then players move on and they go and have fantastic careers and success everywhere else. Doesn't matter if they play for the Detroit Lions now, if they're a former Dolphin. They'll have more success there than here. That's just the reality. The easy thing, the lazy thing is to reach out and pick on one player or this, that. It's not the players. Players are fine. This team should have 4 or 5 more wins if it had a real coach. Doesn't have a real coach. The Canes would be better if it had a better game day coach. Mario Cristobal is fantastic in every aspect of what he does, except on game day. And this was the complaint from people in Oregon. People were never impressed with Mario Cristobal and his conservative ass on game day. And I warned you guys about it. Even though I'm a Mario guy, I told you the one thing he has to change if he's going to come here is he cannot be as conservative. He has to have some cojones. His team certainly has no cojones, but he's got to have some cojones there and make the call. But it's not his fault. It's partially his fault. It's 20 years of no cojones. You know, that's kind of the way it is. The interesting part about Mario is he used to play with teams that had cojones. It's interesting how he can't coach a team to have cojones, but he played on several teams that had cojones. He coached with Nick Saban and their teams had cojones. It's interesting. Interesting. He was part of it, but he can't recreate it. How come Mario Cristobal was part of tough teams? He's a tough guy himself, but somehow or another, he can't create a tough team, a smart team. Why? Why is that? Why is it that Mario Cristobal cannot create a tough team? Why is it that his teams aren't tough? They're not smart. They make mistakes all the time. Why? Is he the right coach? I know he's the right recruiter. I know he's the right human being. I know he's the right man. I know he's the right custodian of the program. I know he does all the other things right. But damn, on game day, not impressive whatsoever. His coaching staff's not impressive whatsoever. Kind of the most important parts of it, not that impressed. That's the reality. The reality is Shula You're not good enough. It's not just Cam Cameron. It's not just Mike McDaniel. It's not just Jimmy Johnson. Hell, Jimmy's so weak, he gave up a championship here with the Canes. He actually allowed his quarterback to continue to throw interceptions. Anyway, so, this is what's going on. And those of you that are old, let's catch up and let's call it like we see it. It's been going on for 40 years. What you saw on Thursday has not changed for 40 years. Okay? By the way, we are in the holiday season. The Big Cheese, they got holiday party platters. Pickup or delivery to your home, your office. If you want to take care of your employees, your kids, your customers, whatever it is, bigcheesemiami.com. You can go to the website. Any dish can become a party platter, and you can do it with meat sauce, tomato sauce, Alfredo sauce, or pink sauce. You change it up. 305-662-6855. Check it out there. Check out the entire list with desserts and everything else. It's going to blow you away. BigCheeseMiami.com. And on Fridays, our Big Cheese Miami NIL and recruiting report with Manny Navarro. In your opinion, has Weaver been competent as a first-year D coordinator? Yeah, competent, I would say, but he has no pass rush. So it's just hard, man. It's hard to measure him. I'm more critical of Mike McDaniel overall, dude, because it's his soft approach that trickles down to everybody. Defense, offense, special teams, everything. So his approach sucks. And that's really the real issue. By the way, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation also on Cash App or Venmo. Actually, on Venmo for Ethereum and Bitcoin, but only Bitcoin on Cash App. And you can also make a donation on PayPal. We tell you that because we get 100% of the donation, whereas on Super Chats, stinking YouTube takes 30%. That's why we tell you that. Okay? Just in case. Just want to make sure we are clear on that. Oh, man. It's just sad. Sad, sad, sad. It really is. By the way, Ray, thank you, sir. Happy Monday. Thank you for the donation. He says, go get some XRP. By the way, XRP is ripping once again. It is crazy, the run. I didn't have the guts to do XRP. I would not deal with XRP because it was in the middle of a lawsuit for many years. And I always said crypto is stressful enough to deal with that. And I was like, nah. And the XRP folks were hardcore and they stayed with it. And God bless you guys out there. And it's up 42.5% today to $2.71. This is ridiculous, the run that it is on, okay? It is, XRP. Okay, the last week it's up 89%. The last month it's 431%. 431% in the last month. That's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. Damn. And I'm pumped about Jasmine being up 74% for the month. It's up 5% today. But damn. Hedera, I'm pumped up 41% for today. Up 515% for the month. 95% for the last week. I'm pumped up about that. Pumped up about Avalanche too. up 121% in the last 3 months, up 105% in the last month, up 14% in the last week, and up 10% today. But XRP's been on a roll, dude. Damn, it's been on a roll. It's a hell of a roll. Congratulations. You all out there, for me, I would have never invested in it early on because of the lawsuit, but I don't know. I don't like to buy things when they're parabolic already. I tell you that all the time, right? So, Eric Trump to deliver a keynote at Bitcoin Mena. Ooh. All right. That's crazy stuff, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. That's all I can tell you. It is crazy. Life is crazy. Anyway, who's first here? I see Steve Chapman. This cold weather nonsense is driving me crazy. The cold weather losers are in KC, Buffalo, Baltimore, Green Bay, all better teams who think they're going on the road and beating these teams even in warm weather. By the way, our Dolphins lose to the good teams at home here too. This is stuff that we're making stuff up. It's not that they just can't win on the road and in the cold. They don't win against good teams, period. Home, away, whatever it is. They get dominated by good teams more often than not. Do they win one once in a blue moon? Sure, dude. Every once in a while, you're going to win one. Do they win them often? Never. Not for 40 years. For 40 years, they can't consistently beat good teams. They used to with Shula. And then the second half of Shula, they couldn't do it anymore. It's just, it's this convenient memory that's selective memory is what people want to have. That's the problem. Oscar Rojas is in. Ohio John had a great time at Lambeau despite the shit show. Stephen Harris in. Giovanni Ray. Thank you out there. Appreciate all of you. Devin Jordan. Super chat. Thank you, sir. Morning O. Where do you stand on what Jordan Brooks said about the team being soft? Do you think he should have kept that shit in-house instead of talking bad to the media about his own teammates? No, Devin. They need to hear it. They need to hear that they've been a bunch of soft-ass bitches for 40 years. Marino teams, Fiedler teams, Tua teams, Jay Cutler teams, whatever quarterback we've had here, they need to know that all their teams are soft. See, that the soft approach, Devin, is keeping it all in-house and not talking about it. And say, no, everything's all right. No. We'll be fine. We'll just tweak it and it'll be all good next year. No, it's not, dude. You're coming back with Mike McDaniel next year. So, no, it's not going to be good. It's not the players. It's not the players. It's the person that you've got coaching your team. They just don't coach tough teams here anymore. It's just the way it is. Because these players go on to play somewhere else, and they play very well. And some guys are tough here, like Sealer and Campbell. It's just they're not winning, and they're not coming through in big moments either, because it's what this franchise has done for 40 years. Doesn't matter the players. Doesn't matter if you're Jason Taylor. You're going to choke. Doesn't matter if you're Marino. You will choke. Doesn't matter if you're Phillips, you will choke. Doesn't matter if you're Jalen Ramsey. You'll win with the Rams. You'll choke here, dude. Can't explain, but those are the facts. It's a soft-ass franchise. It's been a soft-ass franchise for 40 years. Every edition of it chokes like a dog every time they're pushed. Come on, man. Even those good Marino teams in the early 90s, bitch slapped every time by the Bills. They weren't tough enough. They were just finesse. Once you got Marino, Shula forgot about being tough and playing the game the right way. The last time was Woodstock. That was the last time the Dolphins had a tough team. The Killer Bees and Woodstock, because you had to be tough to get to the Super Bowl. Jesus, you had to be tough. But in the end, Riggins ran you over. That's where it started, you know. And then from there on out, that opened the door, and it just was one embarrassment after another, after another, after another, at every stage that you've been on. So, yeah, I completely agree with Jordan Brooks. He's a mercenary. He's only here for a year or two anyway. So somebody needs to say it. You know, I don't know, dude. Let me ask you something, Devin. Okay, what's worse? Here, let me see. Let me give you. Let's go back in the time, and let's show you something from back in the time, and see if maybe. How do you feel about this, about Jordan Brooks? Because, again, it's kind of like the whole thing about, Dolphins choking and all that. And it's like, yeah, dude, this has been going on forever. And let's see. Okay, so you say Jordan Brooks, you didn't want him to say that, right? Where are we here? I know I have it somewhere. Oh, man. Don't tell me it's not here. Oh, man. I know I have it somewhere. But I basically have Zach Thomas saying we're losers. You know?
Can't coach in this league.
Could be a casual correlation.
We give him the balls off.
That guys like it.
There's been no time for preparation for
2 balls that I would probably want back.
2 cold beers and went to bed. Congratulations. His decision making is probably the best in the National Football League. He's one of our headhunters. Believe me, I got a sales pitch ready.
Could be a casual correlation.
Come on, man.
I know I'm going to get paid here.
Tornado works. I got to look at the film. That's ridiculous.
What would I want Sage to
Corporate
do?
events.
Faulty reporting by somebody.
That guys like it.
That's a fact.
We're losers. 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 We're losers.
That's Zach Thomas.
We're losers. We're losers. We're losers. We're losers.
Short-term memory, bro. It pollutes our environment. It pollutes our society. And then we think, it's a Tua thing. No, dude. Marino couldn't win a big game. Fiedler can't win a big game. You think it was really the quarterbacks that no, well, maybe in the Fiedler sense, yes. But the other ones, it's your team's not that good. That's all. I can't blame Marino for what happened against the Niners. I can't blame him against the Bills. He did what he could do. It's just the rest of the team wasn't good enough. They're soft. They were.
We're losers. We're losers. We're losers. We're losers. We're losers. We're losers. We're losers.
Some of us don't forget, bro. It's some of us don't forget what really happened.
Where they could do whatever they wanted with us.
What'd you say, Zach?
Where they could do whatever they wanted with us.
Did you like that one, Devin? That Zach says that. I don't know. It's a bad.
Bears for our organization and Bears for Wayne, Bears for our fans.
What was that, Zach?
Bears for our organization and Bears for Wayne, Bears for our fans.
Doesn't matter the era, baby. Is it Zach's problem? Is it his fault? No. But hey.
Bears for our organization and Bears for Wayne, Bears for our fans.
You want history? You want Dolphin history? You're not going to get it in most papers. You're not going to get it from most podcasts. You're not going to get it from the radio pretty much. Maybe Joe. Joe's about the only one. But I don't know how brutally honest he'll be about the history. But if you want the real history, the brutal history.
Bears for our organization and Bears for Wayne, Bears for our fans. We're losers.
I mean, if you want it.
We're losers.
We're here for you. We're here for you. We know the real Dolphin organization. For 40 years, we know exactly what they've been. Okay? Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. That's the problem. So what our boy Jordan Brooks said, others have been saying it,
We're losers.
Miami 305, thank you for the love on the super chat. End of day, we will never win in Miami. Too much distractions. City up north got nothing. We got coaches snorting, texting a stripper. He loves her. Miami 305, that was a great one, man. Thank you. Thank you. Ty in the Bronx. Morning O. Talk about Bush's rant on McDaniel. Yeah. Reggie Bush. I don't know, Sean, if you could pull up that the tweet from Reggie Bush. 0-12 or 1-12 against teams or whatever he just put out there. Yeah, I saw it also. I saw it, my friend. I saw it. What are you going to do? Ocala Joe, thank you for the love, sir, on Cash App. Very nice of you. I have perspective. You're speaking the truth. Yeah, I mean, can any of us really lie about this? I mean, this is what's been going on. This is who we are. This is who we've been. It hasn't changed in forever, man. And for anybody that thinks that this is oh my God, this just happened now. This is all to us thing. No, dude, this is, and again, I don't blame the players. I blame the head coach. The head coach. Because to me, that's the common denominator all the way back to Shula. They're the ones in charge. They're the ones that set it up. They're the ones that build the staff. They're the ones that have to get the max out of the players. And then these players end up going to other places and they go and have success in other places, right? Mike Gesicki, there's nothing wrong with him unless it's with this guy. He can play with Cincinnati. He can play with Flo, but he can't play with this guy. And again, not to defend him, not to defend Marcus May, who's getting an interception in the end zone, not to defend Chris Brooks, who you all know I like Chris Brooks. Okay? Oh, by the way, in Buffalo, does it look like oh, damn it. What's the name of my boy, my receiver in Buffalo that was with the Raiders that we lost him? Mac Hollins. Did you watch him last night? Catch that touchdown? Was Mac Hollins soft or something? No, when he was here, he actually showed you he was a tough guy, right? Anybody that watches this show for a while now, you know that I was pissed when we lost Mac Hollins. Like I said, this is one of those guys that you need on your team. He brings an attitude that you need on your team, a toughness, a perfect number 3 wide receiver, which it's never changed. Excellent special teamer, number 3 wide receiver. The dude will never break your bank. Why would you let him go? He can never ask you for a ton of money because he's a number 3 and a special teamer. He's a glue guy. But he was part of the chokers here. But why isn't he choking in Buffalo? Oh, I'm sorry. Different organization led by different people. Oh, okay. So it's a Shula thing all the way till now. And whoever is in charge of the players, they can't get their players to be tough-minded, mentally, physically, emotionally, everything. And that's why
we're losers. We're losers. We're losers.
Okay, there it is. There's the Reggie Bush quote. The Dolphins are 0-12 now in the last 12 games in 40-degree weather or less. It's over for them this season. And that's Reggie Bush tweeting that stuff out. And basically, what did he put under? Can you enlarge it? Fire the coach. He should never have had the opportunity. He sucks. I've been saying fire the coach for several weeks now. I told you the season was over when they lost to the Colts, that I would have gone after Vrabel at that moment. Fire him. We were going into a bye week, I believe, after the Colts, correct? Wasn't that I think I want to say that they were going into a bye week, and I said, this gives him time, right? That's what it was, right? Yeah. I'm trying to remember the scenario. You guys will remember for me and correct me if I'm wrong. But I remember telling you, hey, fire him now, bring Vrabel in, let him assess the roster for the rest of the year, and then you can make the changes after. And you'll bring a guy that at least you know he can maybe develop a tough team for you over the next couple of years. But you want to keep this guy, he's going to get a lot of people fired. And I'm sorry, I know we'll disagree. I don't think the personnel's the issue here. I really don't. I think where they screwed up, where the personnel department's going to get burned, is that they hired the wrong coach. That's what's going to be there. And then that you guys will get your wish. You know what I mean? But I really feel that Mike McDaniel is the main problem here. Unfortunately, this is a constant. A constant. But what are you going to do? It is what it is, as they say. Let's see. What else do we have? What's it called? Oh, wait a minute. Ty in the Bronx sent in another one. He says, Big O, you're effed up, man. You're never wrong. I am wrong once in a while, but on the Dolphins, I usually get it right. Most of the time. Jay Gelfin says, be a winner and smash the like button and ring the subscribe bell and let it play to help support the Big O radio show. That's it. If you got to walk away, let it play. That's what we say. This is the same team that thought it was their best interest to trade Wes Welker to the Patriots. Okay, you're getting a second and a seventh rounder for a guy that you did nothing for. And Wes Welker would have never played the way he played there, because he didn't have Brady here like he had there. So these are the things you have to take into account. You keep thinking that Wes Welker would have been Wes Welker here and not there. And that's wrong. He became Wes Welker there because you had that quarterback that helped him become that. You didn't have that quarterback here. You didn't have that kind of offense here. So he would have never been that valuable. The mistake is you didn't cash in on that second and seventh rounder. That's the mistake you made. Samson Sattelli, I believe it was. And Sattelli was a weird one because he was productive depending on the coaching staff, depending on the scheme. And so here they didn't have sometimes the right scheme for him. And then when he went to the Raiders, I think it was for several years, he was very productive for them because he was put in the right scheme. It's funny how that works out. But you didn't milk it. You didn't maximize that trade. And that's where you really failed. But to think that Wes Welker would have been Wes Welker here and he never goes to New England, maybe Wes Welker doesn't even come close to having the career he had. And he doesn't even become the name he was. You know what I'm saying? That's where sometimes some of you out there, you get a little crazy. And the real problem was you didn't take advantage of that trade because you picked up somebody from the street and turned them into a 2nd and 7th rounder. That in itself is awesome. But you got to do something with that 2nd and 7th rounder. And they didn't. That's where the failure really happened. The whole Welker thing, you're getting a little crazy. Let's see. In my opinion, the last time the Dolphins had any semblance of toughness and balance was 83. From 84 on, they were the beginning of mediocrity merry-go-round. Exactly. One-dimensional, offense, soft, punch in the mouth, go home, fold like a cheap tent. Let's see. 6193, team needs a new GM with a better vision for the team. Dolphins aren't getting better anytime soon. Why the F are they not using Craycraft? Once again, the head coach. Matt Collins still supports DCC and is such a great person. He wanted to stay here. Of course, bro. And we needed him here. We needed Matt Collins. Matt Collins will support DCCC and is such a great person. That's right. That is the perfect way to describe him. Let's see. Bills haven't been great either. Yeah, they have, bro. They accomplished some stuff. They don't win a championship, but they accomplish stuff and they beat big teams in big moments. Have they gotten over the Kansas City hump? No, but that's a championship team. But they win a lot more than Miami, dude. A lot more. From the 90s till now. Would you rather be the Marino team or the Kelly team? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Would you rather be the Josh Allen team or the Dolphins? Brother, are you just like a butthurt fan or something? Just because they didn't win a championship, but they own the division, bro. They own the Dolphins. When have the Dolphins done that? Oh, I'm sorry. You probably weren't around for that. Let's see. What else do we have here? I get it. Coaching is the issue, but that doesn't change the fact that Tua isn't exactly the right QB either. Having a star QB erases a lot of deficiencies. Yeah, how'd it go for Marino? Did you win a championship? How'd that go? You had the guy to erase it all. He erased it all, but his defense would then screw it up. How'd it go, bro? How many championships you got there with Marino? How many trips? One time. And you got thoroughly embarrassed on that one. Did he erase anything against the 49ers? You had the great quarterback, bro. I mean, Giovanni Ray, that's the guy, dude. You had him. You had the great eraser, Giovanni Ray. What's your explanation? I want to hear this one. I can't wait. Giovanni Ray, I am waiting for your explanation. You had the great eraser. What happened, bro? What happened? I love schooling people that don't fucking know football. Because, morons just pick on the quarterback. The guy that's been in the MVP race. The guy that doesn't, he doesn't play bad, dude. It's not his fault. The quarterback's not your problem. Giovanni Ray, you are part of the problem. Stupid ass fans, my brother. Dumb fucking fans like you are the problem. Trent Dilfer is not half the quarterback that Tua is, and he's got a championship. He's not a tenth of the quarterback Marino is, and he's got a championship. Or Brad Johnson isn't close to Tua either. Peyton Manning that won with the Broncos. Oh, he was a real eraser, Giovanni Ray. My God, the ultimate eraser. Some of you fans, you're just fans. You're not smart. You're not smart. Giovanni Ray is a beautiful example of the typical fan that doesn't know shit about football. You watch it, and then Giovanni Ray probably repeats something stupid that was said on QAM. Because there's a lot of stupid shit said on QAM. Whenever I turn on the car and I tune into my former station, I'll hear somebody say something stupid. Because half of them really don't know the game either. So I'm not sure what's going on. What are you doing? You're repeating some fan on a... That's the other thing. We got a bunch of fans that think they know football, and they just do a bunch of podcasts. Is that what you're watching, Giovanni Ray? Is that what you're watching, buddy? Ultimate eraser, bro. Marino, what happened? He's the ultimate eraser. But what happened against the Bills? What happened against San Francisco? He's the ultimate eraser. Clase come mierda. Some of you out there, it's just, you're better off not even speaking. Really. You're better off not even speaking. That's all. Somebody tell Giovanni Ray about Archie Manning. Somebody explain it to him. Adolfo Foliaco, thank you for the love in the super chat. I know you people in the building, what you can tell us about the coach. Greer and McD are not on the same page as per Barry Jackson's tweet. Yeah. I'm going to tell you what I've been telling you for a while. Okay. The front office has done a really good job overall with the talent. They screwed up with the coaches. I'm sorry. And what have I been saying for a while now? I like the front office. I like this talent overall. You should easily get into the playoffs and even have a chance to win a playoff game. But you have the wrong head coach. And what have I been saying now for a while now? I like the front office. Do I think they'll probably get a chance to hire their third coach? What have I said, Sean? Do I think they'll probably get a chance to hire the third coach? He's saying no. He must produce the show and listen to it. I don't know. They hired Flo, and now they hired McD. Neither one is the guy. The talent is not the problem. This team should have easily 4 to 5 more wins on it. And none of us would be complaining about the talent. We would be marveled that, oh, shit, they don't have pass rushers, and yet they're still winning games, and they're hey, it's pretty good. They're in the mix. We would have been saying that. But we're not saying that because you have the wrong guy leading the team. You can easily win with Tua a Super Bowl, but you got to have the right team. And you don't build the right team, you're not going to win. You're not going to win with Brad Johnson, and you're not going to win with Peyton Manning, who can only throw for 10 yards. You're not going to win with Trent Dilfer. And you're certainly not going to win with Marino. Giovanni Ray. Oh, by the way, Giovanni Ray, you know, John Elway was the ultimate eraser. So what happened against Washington and the Niners and with Sammy Winder and company, Giovanni Ray? I know, bro, I know you're probably like 25 years old or 30 or something. You have very little perspective. But what happened to John Elway the first go-around? More athletic than Marino, great arm, right? Put up all kinds of stats. What happened, bro? 55-10. He got his ass kicked left and right. And then what happened in the mid-90s when they actually gave him a team? When Denver wasn't soft anymore. That you remember back in those days, you don't know that, Giovanni Ray, because You're young. You have no perspective. You have to go to an almanac or some bullshit in order to read it and find out. But I lived it because I'm old. I've got perspective. John Elway lost like a freaking dog. And then in the mid-90s, they actually gave him a defense and a running game. And wouldn't you know it, he wins back-to-back titles and retires and walks off into the sunset. The ultimate eraser didn't have to erase anymore. And that's what happens, Giovanni Ray. That's the problem with people like you, Giovanni Ray, is that you think in football, the quarterback is the guy that carries you all the way to the title and makes all the plays. That's not how it goes. There's a defense that goes along with it. There's a running game. No one guy goes and wins a Super Bowl anymore. In fact, that's never been done because it's the ultimate team game, my brother. This isn't basketball. Okay? This isn't college basketball. This is the NFL, where if you don't have a team and you're John Elway, you will lose. And if you have a team, you win. And if you're Dan Marino and you don't have a team, you will lose. That's just the way it goes, my brother. And if Trent Dilfer has the team, he wins. So in your book, Giovanni Ray, I guess Trent Dilfer is better than Dan Marino. You know? I mean, that's kind of how it goes, right? Because Trent Dilfer was the ultimate eraser. It wasn't Ray Lewis or Jamal Lewis. No. It was Trent Dilfer, the ultimate eraser. So many of you just don't know football. You just don't understand the game of football and how it's played and how you win. You just don't know. You watch, but you don't know. Just like half the people on QAM watch it and they have no fucking idea what they're watching. That's the facts. I can't change it. I can't do anything about it, but that's the facts. Too many of you still don't know what the NFL game is all about. Anyway, Ty in the Bronx, once again, thank you, sir, for the love in the super chat. It says Mace Taggart, but it's Ty in the Bronx, just so you guys don't get confused, okay? Dolphin fanboys under 45 don't know shit, Big O. Exactly. And that's what that dude is. That's a Dolphin fanboy that has no perspective. Andrew Luck, great talent, no team, never won. Oh, but wait a minute, Lofo. Giovanni Ray says he's the ultimate eraser. Remember the guys that would say, oh, he doesn't win anything. Oh, and if he wins, it's a shitty division. Bro, he's winning with shit. You know, he has shit. Give him real stuff and he'll win a title. Andrew Luck would win 5 titles. You give him Kansas City and he wins 5 titles. Not 1, 5. You give Marino Kansas City, he wins 5 titles. You give Andrew Luck and Marino San Fran's Bill Walsh talent, and they win all those titles too. Team, baby. It's the ultimate team game. Some of you don't understand that. Giovanni Ray is a perfect example. He thinks a quarterback wins it all, when Giovanni Ray doesn't even know that the defense carried Kansas City to the title last year. It wasn't Mahomes. But Giovanni Ray thinks that Mahomes carried Kansas City to the title last year. That's the typical Dolph fan. That's the typical NFL fan. That's probably 70% of the losers that listen to QAM, that they just don't know football. And anybody that knows football knows Chris Jones and the defense carried Kansas City to the title. Mahomes just did his job. if it's not for that defense, they had no shot at a title. Zero. If that defense would have been just average, they lose. That defense was special. That secondary was sick. Chris Jones is unstoppable. I mean, it's some ignorant shit that goes on here, dude. It's really amazing. I am. It's a special kind of stupid. For those of you out there that really don't get this, it's a special kind of stupid. I got to tell you, a special kind of stupid. Anyway, if you listen to Trent Dilfer, he'll tell you Tua is one of the best QBs that he has ever worked with. Of course, dude. It's not Tua's problem. The team is the problem. The people in front leading the way. That's the problem. Let's see. What else do we have? You say you like the talent, but on the other side of your mouth, you say the team isn't tough. It isn't. And that's part of the coaching, right? It's not that they're not good enough. I just explained it to you, dude. I just explained it to you. Did you watch Mac Hollins? Did you watch Marcus May? Did you watch Chris Brooks against Miami? Same player that was playing here. Same one. They didn't want to use him here, but they used him there against the Dolphins. It's our environment ruins our players. It's the people above. It's the coaching staffs. It's Shula all the way to McDaniel. That's been our problem. You don't have the right coaches in place. They don't make a tough team. The players go on to become tough somewhere else and clutch somewhere else. You know, here Wes Welker wasn't winning shit. He goes there and he's winning all kinds of stuff. That's just the way it goes. And like that, we could go with so many players over the last 20 years we could talk about that leave Miami and go somewhere else, and they have plenty of success. It's not the player. The talent is not the problem right now. The talent should have won 4 or 5 more games this year if you had a real coaching staff. So I'm actually really consistent. I'm not trying to have it both ways. You got, Giovanni Ray was a perfect example, Stephen Harris, of the typical clueless football fan. So that's why. And notice how Giovanni Ray never answered. Why? Because he's pissed now. He's frustrated. He had his lesson taught, and now he's like, oh, I get it now, but I have no retort. I can't go back. What am I going to say? Something even more dumb? So I give him credit that he se quedó callado, calladito. Seal it. Stay go-go's. Your lips are sealed. Big O, I got a better one for you. You think McDaniels with KC this year wins all? No. Thank you, John. Thank you. That's exactly it. Mike McDaniel would fuck it up for the Chiefs. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly it. Reed was always in the championship game with McNabb. Again, Doug Williams. You know, it's consistent. He's a great coach. Now, Philadelphia is also a great organization under Howie Rosen. And they also continue to have success even post Andy Reid. And they got a championship even with a Doug Peterson, which is impressive. So they have, just like the Steelers have changed coaches, but, you know, that toughness stays there all throughout. Baltimore has had a couple of different coaches, a couple of different GMs, and they've been tough. Got to give them credit. Let's see. You haven't had the O-line and the D-line to win, but McD sucks. Get rid of McD already. Yeah. Yep. Now he says, Giovanni says, I did answer. I'm still here. I stand on what I said. Well, and you stand on stupidity. What can I tell you? You stand on stupidity. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar and the amazing Alan Blanco custom printing and embroidery. You call him for your company, your school, your whatever club, fantasy league, 786-618-1443. Hurricanes, they choke against Syracuse 42-38. We'll see if they can even make the playoffs. They certainly don't deserve it. The Raptors on Sunday handed the Heat a 119-116 loss. Miami's at 9-9, and Butler tweaked his knee. He is questionable for tonight's game against the Celtics. Saturday, the Panthers, the only real team in town, defeated the Hurricanes 6-0. They beat them on Friday 6-3. That's 12-3 against the Hurricanes in the last two games. That's pretty awesome. Tuesday, they're at Pittsburgh to take on the Penguins. Tonight, Monday Night Football, Browns at Broncos. Broncos favored by 6. The over and under is 42. Browns plus 220. Broncos minus 270. The Dolphins taking on the Jets this weekend. Dolphins are favored by 6.5. Over and under is 45. And you've got to be a moron to lay the 6.5 in that one. That's your 3A Graphics sports calendar. The Miami Heat. Let's get into the Miami Heat a little bit here. The Miami Heat are headed for another mediocre season, like they should have in several other years, but they got lucky along the way with the bubble and other things that went on. And so this time stars aren't going to align for you anymore. Butler has no gas left in the tank. This is all about finding out what your young guys have for the next year. Okay. The Jimmy Butler stuff has become an absolute joke. It's a con job, as I've been telling you for a while now, that Jimmy Butler is broken down and his body can't hold up, he proves it all the damn time. Okay. And I love the Heat. I love Pat Riley. Okay. But like Shula, okay, they don't make good moves anymore. That's why they're in this position. That's why they do things like re-signing Butler when they shouldn't have. And they should have traded him a couple of years ago. But too many of you, probably like a Giovanni Ray, you get caught up in the moment and the whole thing, and you get caught up in him playing well, and you think that it's real when it's not, and there goes the contract. And now they don't have trade assets. The one thing that is going their way is Tyler Hero. And I'm going to keep saying it now. He scored 31 points. Don't be prisoners of the moment. If this kid, by some miracle, can stay healthy over the next 2 months, which I doubt, but if he can stay healthy and you're in late January, early February, you need to trade his ass and get as many assets as you can, because you couldn't trade him in the past anymore for a first rounder. If he's playing like this, you're going to have an opportunity to get multiple picks. Go get it. And if somehow or another Butler can put his ass together for a month or something, and somebody will give you anything to unload it, you do it. That's what the Heat need to do. They need to somehow create assets for themselves so they can kind of reload, because they're in a rut right now that they've been in for several years, even when they went to the finals. That was flukish. That was stuff that wasn't really supposed to happen, but the stars aligned, God bless you, and you took advantage of it. But was it real? No, it wasn't. It was an overachievement twice. Great coaching, because you have the best coach in the world. But you can't keep asking this guy to turn water into wine. And that's basically what you're asking him. And he doesn't have it anymore. And I'm talking about Butler. So he doesn't have a superstar anymore. Bam Adebayo, I think we've had this discussion way too many times already. He's not a star. He never will be a star. He's a super role player, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Butler is done. So if somehow or another you can unload him, great. Unfortunately, it looks like you're going to be stuck with his ass next year because he's going to pick up the player option. He's not going to pass up that money. Nobody's going to give him that money anywhere. And he's not trying his. I saw Anthony Chang tweet out about how low his usage percentage is, and it's like, bro, this is a con job that's going on. You know, I feel bad for Heat fans, you know, because especially we have a section of Heat fans that are incredibly delusional, right? And they like think like these 5 years of Butler, they like think it's real. They like think they were really legit or some shit like that. Instead of, no, dude, you were a flukish, overachieving team. And it was fun. And it was great. Okay. You had a chance in the bubble. That was the one chance you had because the Lakers weren't really that good. And unfortunately, you suffered the 2 injuries. But the other one, reality set in. Kind of like the Dolphins with Marino. You get to the Super Bowl and you're facing San Francisco. You get to the NBA Finals and you're facing Denver. And you realize we have no business here. We're not supposed to be here. We don't belong anywhere near San Francisco or Denver. You know, it was one of those things. It was like, oh, our flukish run is over. This is a real championship team. We're not. And that's the problem with the Heat Nation. It's very delusional because it's won so much. It's won to the point it thinks it's better than what it really is. And I think that same group of Heat fans don't realize how bad it is right now. It's just, or how bad it's been, and it is. It's just that Spo makes it look better than how bad it really is. That's how good of a David Copperfield he is. There is no better illusionist in the world than Eric Spoelstra. Okay? So this is going to be a long season, but it can be one that can open up the door for a brighter future, not because of what you have here, it's because of maybe what you can unload. And if some miracle Tyler Hero stays healthy in the next 2 months, you need to trade his ass. And if somehow or another you can unload Butler's salary, oh, baby, do it. Do it. But that's the quest. And then play all your young guys. And let's find out what we have with these young guys. That's it. That to me, that's the Heat season. And that's how it should be viewed and, you know, carried from here on out. Anyway. Let's see. What else do we have? How is the Dolphins have hired 12 head coaches since Don Shula and still haven't found the right coach and have a winning team? So heartbreaking. Yeah. And Shula wasn't anything great either his last stretch. So let's just be honest. Okay? So don't exclude Don Shula. Okay? Don't exclude Don Shula because he was bad. By his standards, the standards he set the first half of his career, his standards, he's bad. God, I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it because nobody will have the balls to ever say something like this. Pat Riley doesn't live up to his own standards that he had set before. Pat Riley used to be the guy that used to make all the stars happen, and can't do that anymore. Everybody's time comes and goes, man. And there's no doubt that that's happened, unfortunately. So don't leave Shula out in all of this. You know, I want to make sure we stress this because too many of you are conveniently trying to shape this into something that's happened the last few years here, or just a Mike McDaniel thing, or something like. Some of you idiots are like, well, Flo was tough. Flo didn't do shit, bro. Flo sucked. His teams folded like a cheap tenant. His last year, they lost against all the good teams and then pumped up their schedule with all the bad teams in the second half. And he couldn't even build an offensive staff. Another disaster. but it's just one of those things that you have short-term memories, too many of you, and make it sound like this is something that just happened. And this is not something that just happened. It's been happening for 40 years. 40 years. Long time. And right now, what you see going on with the Heat mirrors a lot of what happened with Shula. Okay? Heat organization. They've lost their fastball. They haven't had a fastball in a long time. And if it's not for Wade, so it's tough. They need to do some really, really deep soul searching, how they revamp their organization and the way they do things, because they've been so desperate to win now, it has ruined their entire future. And that's been a real problem for the Heat lately, unfortunately. Their win now mode has failed. It used to work for them. Now it doesn't. Now it's been counterproductive for them, unfortunately. And you can only ask Eric Spoelstra to do so much, dude. Eric is a stud. Big O said no one will give Jimmy that extension when he's a free agent. Someone will give it to him. Injury-prone Paul George got it from Philadelphia. Yeah, but this guy's older than Paul George, and he's got more miles on him. And Philly does have a stupid guy in Morey running the show. Miami Heat Jimmy Butler went to the finals 2 times in the Eastern Conference Final 3 times. He's only been with the Heat for 5 years. Exactly. I know that. And like I said, it's not as good as you think it is. That's the part that's hard to swallow, hard to deal with. Yeah, you've been there. Yeah, but you didn't win it. And guess what? Did you look at the situations, how you made the 2 finals? You had every break in the book that you can possibly have. Shortened season, in the bubble, difficult situation for everybody. Heat had the best environment for it, so they survived, but a shortened season. The other one was Giannis and Embiid injured. If both are healthy, you probably don't even get to the finals. But I mean, again, thump your chest. They did it, bro. They made it to the finals twice and the Eastern Conference Finals 3 times. That's all right. And look what's going on lately. Kind of tells you what they really are. It's just a bunch of lucky, overachieving, stars-aligned stuff. Big O, look at UM with Cam Ward. Good quarterback, good running game, but no defense. Terrible coaching with defensive coordinator and head coach. Exactly. And who do you blame? Mario Cristobal. It's not the talent. Talent's much better. It's the best it's been in years. And yet your defense plays like shit? Come on, man. I'm sure you didn't hear it in their post-game show on QAM, or maybe even today. I don't even know if they talked about it, but how is Guidry even employed right now? How? Season's over. You can get an assistant coach to coach the defense up as good or better. How do you keep Guidry around, dude? That's disgusting. That guy sucks. He's terrible. You gave him talent, he couldn't do anything with it. Guidry's a joke. It's disgraceful what he's done. The Heat have overachieved during the Jimmy Butler era. They need to move on from this build or play young guys more. I don't get why they drafted Ware just a red shirt. It makes no sense. Exactly. The problem is that the Heat have a problem resetting. They want to act like, no, we're about retooling and winning and all. And you're not winning shit, dude. And then we have you guys, the fan base. You're so spoiled from all the success that they've given you that you refuse to deal with a complete reset. And then you'll shit on the team. And that's not fair either, because the Heat have never really gone and rebuilt. And they really need to do that. They need to tear down and be bad for a couple of years and have some high picks and get lucky and maybe win a lottery or something if they can do that. They kind of need to do that. But they refuse to do that because they think it's beneath them. Stupid shit. Makes no sense. It's ego crap. But in order for you to take those steps forward, the Heat truly need to take a few steps back, and they're not willing to do it. And I don't know why. I mean, for me, I know I'm in the minority, but as a Heat fan, dude, I can handle a couple of years of tough seasons, maybe not making the playoffs or barely making the playoffs or a lottery team. I have no problem with that. Zero. What I have a problem with is the delusion of you thinking that you're going to do anything with this roster because you're living off the recent past. Oh, no, we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and we made it to the finals in the bubble, and we made it to the finals that other year. And you think that's the norm when you got lucky. Everything fell into place. That's not who you really are. Go look at what's gone on the last couple of years. That's what you really are. Look what's going on right now. This is what you really are. You're a team that could be barely 500, barely over 500 at best case scenario. You're not winning 50, 55, 60 games. You're not going to be a dominant force in the East. Jimmy Butler is no longer a star anymore. Watch the games. That's the delusion that's going on with the Miami Heat. And that's the delusion that goes on with Miami Heat fans, Miami Heat fan sites also. We have this thing, we're stuck in the media and in some of these podcasters that they're afraid of speaking the truth because they think they're going to lose their audience. And yeah, you are. Yeah. As the Dolphins season means less people will tune in, less people will read, less people will click. It's just kind of the way it goes, bro. So what are you going to do? Avoid the reality and lie to people to try to keep your audience and give them hopium? Yeah, we're not doing that. You either stay or go, whatever, that's fine. I'm going to be here. Not going anywhere. Not worried about it. But I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on. I told you the Dolphins season was done weeks ago. Our beat writers didn't want to admit it because they got papers to sell. Their editors will probably, no, don't do that. Me, I don't give a shit. I love the Dolphins either way. I'm going to watch next week, the week after. I'll watch the last week of the season, whatever it is. And I know what they are. But what am I going to do? You know? Welton Rayom. 954-966-4646. We love talking about Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom, bankruptcy, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Please call them. And if you're dealing with these insurance companies after these last storms and they're still giving you the runaround or not doing their jobs, call Welton Rayom. They'll straighten them out. And they have their own adjusters. So if there's an argument about what should be done and what should be fixed, call Welton Rayom. They'll fix up those insurance companies in a heartbeat. 954-966-4646. O is on to the Heat Talk right now. He doesn't have time to the chat room. Yeah, no, I don't have time for the chat room. I don't, Giovanni. I don't. I'm doing a talk show. Plus, it's called the Big O Radio Show, not the Giovanni Ray Show, because that would be a weak-ass show. I got a taste of Tom Brady, the broadcaster. Holy shit, that is terrible. Have you watched it, Sean? Have you watched Tom Brady? I finally got to see it, and he has no personality. It's like obvious shit that he keeps mentioning. That's a waste of money, dude. Good for Tom, dude. Wow, he is stealing money. He's stealing money better than Jimmy Butler and Odell Beckham. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, the thing with that also, remember, he can't go to the facilities.
I know.
He can't talk to the coaches. He's useless.
He's useless. He's useless. And he has no personality, too. He comes off very mechanical. That he could fix, but it's kind of who he is. He's not really Mr. Personality. And like Olsen is 100 times better than this guy. And not because, I love my you and all that kind of crap. I don't give a shit about that. I'd call it like I see it. Michael Irvin is fucking brutal on radio. That Mike Irvin's the guy you bring on for, a 7-8 minute interview, and that's it. You put him on a TV show or on a radio show, and all he's doing is preaching the entire day. It's like Ray Lewis. Fucking terrible. That's why they're not on, they're unwatchable at times. And certainly, I remember when he was on QAM, unlistenable. Okay, so, I'm going to call it like I see it, not because of the you thing. Olsen is an exceptional broadcaster. Does an excellent job, brings color to his analysis. Brady, God, that was bad. That was bad. Then the other thing I saw this weekend. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Wow, all kinds of changes. Now we got a second part to this now. Okay. Well, the first part is Gus Malzahn. He leaves UCF to become the offensive coordinator for FSU. And by the way, breaking news, War Chant, is reporting that FSU is expected to name Nebraska's Tony White as their next defensive coordinator. So they have a new offensive and new defensive coordinator, and Gus Malzahn doing the same thing that Chip Kelly did. Chip Kelly, I believe, left UCLA head coach. I want to say he's the offensive coordinator of like Wisconsin, Ohio State, or Michigan, or some shit like that. I forgot which one it was. But he went to some Big Ten school, I want to say. I'm not exact now I'm forgetting which one it was, but it kind of shows you how shitty it is to be a head coach nowadays. Yeah, you make a lot of money, but oh my God, it is 24/7, 365. You're constantly recruiting, re-recruiting guys. It's ridiculous. Who was it?
Ohio State.
Ohio State. And so couldn't beat Michigan, huh? Anyway, so you look at it, and Malzahn, and by the way, for UCF and their program, holy crap, no program is trying harder to matter than UCF, and yet they can't hang on to a good coach. They can't get into a big-time conference like they want to get into. It's just, and now they can't even hang on to Malzahn, and he wants to go be an offensive coordinator than be a head coach for them. And that's because it's not something you really want to do nowadays. If you could be a coordinator and carry less of the burden, more power to you, dude. But UCF fans, God, they got to be feeling like shit right now. Big O, do you think Brewer is a solid center, or do they need to move on from him? Brother, at this point, I'm not judging anything anymore unless it's like he's not really bad or anything. He's actually done a decent job. But at this point, I would tell you, I'm not judging anything because everything would be better with a real head coach. That's all I can tell you. His offensive line was responding when they were running. And then what does he do? He abandons the run. This guy is a special kind of terrible coach. Okay. I mean, it's how he's employed is beyond me. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I know it's an indictment for the front office, but I would go to the owner. Hey man, we screwed up. And if you got to fire us after, then go ahead. But we cannot leave this guy here because he's not doing the right thing. The wrong thing is keeping Mike McDaniel around. That's the wrong thing to do. So that's my real problem right now. It's been my problem for a while, Mike McDaniel. The greatest players don't necessarily make the best color commentators. Network thought Brady would be great. Gretzky was the greatest hockey player, but he has no personality either. Very little. Boring. Gretzky is boring. That's why. Not a good announcer. They use him in the studio, and he's all right chiming in a couple words here or there. It's like Joe Montana. Joe Montana's an announcer. Boring. Boring. Steve Garvey, announcer. Boring. It's lots of great players. If you got to have a personality, man. You got to bring some color to the broadcast. If you don't, and that's what I saw with Brady, it was just lame, dude. It's like, wow, what is this? All right, let me do a little music here before I get back to the NFL. Let's see. Let's start off with a little musicians today. All right, let's go with musicians born on December 2nd. Let's see. Britney Spears, U.S. singer, born on this date in 1981. Nelly Furtado was born on this date in 1978. Chris Wolstenholme, bassist from Muse, born in 1978. Nate Mendel, bassist with the Foo Fighters, born in 1968. Rick Savage, bass player with Def Leppard, born in 1960. Let's see who else. Garth Dennis, a member of the Wailing Souls for 10 years. Okay. Passed away in 2021. Ted Blukel, drummer for The Association, born in 1942 on this date. And that does it for musicians. Now we go with regular folk celebrating birthdays today, or other famous folk. Aaron Rodgers in a dark room today at 41 years old. Lucy Liu, she is 56 years old. Jana Kramer, country singer. I have no idea who she is, but I mentioned it anyways. She's 41. Anybody out there in country, tell me she's actually a thing. Who else? Fred Heikinger, actor, 25. Nick Williams, rugby player, 41. Chris Travis, rapper, 31. Let's see. Aaron Jones, football player, 30. Gianni Versace was born in this state in 46. We lost him in 97. Let's see who else. Alfred Enoch, movie actor, is 36. Barney Walsh, movie actor, 27. And those are famous people born on this date. Sean Stanley. Do we have any wrestlers born on this date, sir?
Yes, sir, we do. Hakushi turns 58. Mario Baccara, 44. Simon Inoki turns 51. And the great Wesley turns 36. And those are your birthdays for December 2nd, 2024.
All righty. Let's go with music history. We love talking about music history. And on December 2nd, what happened in music history? Well, in 71, Led Zeppelin released Black Dog as a single in the United States. Hey, hey, mom. In 73, The Who were arrested in Montreal for allegedly wrecking a hotel suite. Really? Shocker. They spent 6 hours in jail and were fined $2,100. John Entwistle later wrote the song Cell Block Number 7 after the incident. In 86, Annie Lennox got so carried away singing Missionary Man at the Eurythmics concert in England that she ripped off her bra before an audience of 10,000 people. Really easy feat for her. In 83, the 14-minute song Thriller video debuted on MTV. The Michael Jackson clip became such a huge hit that the network would show a shorter version of it every hour. Dude, that thing was on all the time. Okay. And what's her name? Something Ray. Smoke Show. In 2000, the Smashing Pumpkins played their final concert at the time at Chicago's Metro Club, where their careers began 12 years earlier. The 4.5-hour-long show featured 35 songs spanning the band's career. In 2012, Led Zeppelin was recognized by President Barack Obama at the Kennedy Honors for the significant contributions to American culture and art. Barack, Led Zeppelin, never saw that one coming, gotta say. But props to Barack on that one. In 2002, Oasis singer Liam Gallagher was arrested and charged with assault after he kung fu kicked a police officer in Munich. The rocker wound up losing his front 2 teeth in the ensuing brawl. Just not enough, right? Just not enough. He deserves much more ass kickings. He is such an idiot. That's what happened today in music history. By the way, at Hialeah Park, we've got the $100 no regret first bet. They just gave away a Mercedes-Benz on Saturday. Damn, I was pissed I didn't win. I was there. I was waiting for my number to be called, or my wife's number, because she's the one that plays most of the machines anyway. And I didn't get it. Damn it. That Mercedes is beautiful. One day I'm going to drive off with one of those cars, or my wife. It'll be my wife, because I'll be driving our car. So she'll drive it. But one day, every time they give away, we go downstairs, we play a few slots, and we say, one day, we're not employees, so we're eligible. Anyway, Big O, that media personality guy summed it up perfectly about the Dolphins. Yes, and he's a news guy. He's not even a sports guy. He's a news guy, a national news guy. It's funny. Let's see. Golden State will have a WNBA team. The Valkyries. Shula's only mistake as a coach was not firing his buddy Oliver Dottie. He made a lot of mistakes, bro. Robin Senline for Anthony Carter. It's a lot of mistakes in the Shula career, bro. You know, Sammy Smith, we thought it was the right pick. Didn't end up becoming the right pick. Tom Brady is stealing money without a gun and a mask, like Odell Beckham and Jimmy Butler. But Jimmy Butler, wow. I mean, that con job that Jimmy Butler is pulling off, it's choice. Gotta say. Steelers beat the Bengals. Let's talk about a couple things around the NFL. Gesicki, by the way, 5 for 53. He can play in that offense, not here, of course, because we've got a coach that doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Russell Wilson, 414 yards, 3 touchdowns, an interception, and a winning cause. Joe Burrow, God bless him, dude. He's had a hell of a season, but the team sucks. 309, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Vikings beat the Cards 23-22. So Minnesota improves to 10-2. Crazy. Kyler did not play well in that game. Colts defeat the Pats. They come back and win 25-24. Seahawks defeat the Jets. Jets were winning this game. I got to tell you something. I'd be shocked if the Dolphins win both games against the Jets. I'll be shocked. I think the Dolphins lose one of the two games against the Jets. I really do. I think the Dolphins normally beat the shitty teams, and the Jets are shitty, but they've got to play them twice in a short amount of time. I think they lose one of those two. I really do. I really do. It sucks, but yeah, I don't expect them to run the table. They're going to lose some games here. Texans defeat the Jags, but by the way, it's great to watch Aaron Rodgers lose over and over and over again. Pick six and everything was beautiful. Texans defeat the Jags 23-20. The Azir Al-Shair hit. This is what I was telling you about Tua and everything else that goes on in the NFL. Okay, the owners don't care about the players' health. Coaches really don't give a shit about players' health. Then the players, they act like they give a shit. They act like they're disgusted with the owners or coaches or fans or media not being sympathetic to them at times and all that kind of shit, right? But yet, here we have the Al-Shair guy taking a complete dirty shot at Trevor Lawrence, who was clearly sliding. He put out a statement, Shahir, and he said, "Oh, I was already committed." He was sliding. He's full of shit. Okay, he's full of shit. Full of shit. All right, and he didn't act remorseful either. Okay. At that moment, he might have acted like it after when writing it and all that shit. As I've said many times over, when the league, when the league is serious, when they start suspending players for as long as they put that player out. If he's out with a concussion for 2, 3, 4 weeks, you're out 2, 3, 4 weeks without pay. If you broke his leg and he's out for the season, you're out for the season with no pay. That's when the league gives a shit, right? Because, you're not doing anything. Like Michigan and Ohio State brawl, okay? Some officers got injured and all that. You know how they responded? $100,000 fine to Michigan, $100,000 fine to Ohio State. Do you think they're actually even signing that check with a straight face? Or zelling the money over with a straight face? They fined us $100,000. Here you go. Here's your stupid $100,000. We'll fight 10 more times for that. And it's Tua, the other extreme of the injuries. Here's a guy. I love Tua. You guys know that. I'm a big Tua believer. Tua's not the problem for this team. But there is a problem from Tua. He predetermined already that he refuses to be responsible. He's told you. He's going to do whatever it takes to win a game, throw his body out there, tackle, whatever it is, head first dive, whatever it takes. So be it. So he's already told you he doesn't care if he gets injured because it screws his team, but he doesn't care. So why should we care? Why should we give a shit about any football player when they take cheap shots at each other all the time? They're willing to injure each other all the time. And there were several moments like that in the NFL yesterday, not just the Lawrence one. And if Tua doesn't give a shit about taking care of himself, because he basically told us, I don't give a shit about my body. So I'm going to play however it is, reckless. I'm going to tackle people. I'm going to dive. I'm going to do whatever. And if I get injured, too bad. My team is screwed. Too bad. I don't care if I screwed my team. That's basically what he's saying. He's basically telling the fan base, hey, guys and ladies out there, if I'm going to play reckless and if I get injured, too bad. Your season's over. You paid for a trip to Seattle, San Francisco, New York, and I'm not there and we're going to lose. Too bad. That's how I'm going to play. So I'm just wondering, like, why should we care? The burden is on you and me, fans and media. We're supposed to be respectful. We're supposed to be understanding. But wait a minute. Tua doesn't understand his value to the team. He's not willing to take care of himself. But wait a minute. Players in the NFL aren't willing to take care of themselves. They take cheap shots at each other all the time. So we're supposed to be the classy ones. We're supposed to take the high road. We're supposed to be respectful. But why? You're not. You're not respectful of that man who's a father, a husband, a brother, a son, a cousin. You're going to take him out. You're going to knock him across the head and give him a concussion. You're going to blow out his knee. You're going to do something dirty. So why? Why am I supposed to? Why do I have the burden of being sympathetic? Why should I be respectful? I don't get it. It's funny how the entire burden is on us, fans and media. But on their end, owners never told players about head trauma. They'll play Jordan Reed over and over again. They don't care if Tua's playing again. Tua doesn't care if he throws his body around. Players generally in the NFL don't care about taking cheap shots at each other and hurting each other. They just don't. But we've got to carry the burden. That's just, that's just so convenient. Let blame us because we're the bad guys. We're always the bad guys. Media, fans, we're the bad guys. Eagles defeat the Ravens. The great. Hey, by the way, we're all that Lamar Jackson talk. He's 8-5 now. What happened yesterday, bro? What happened? Wasn't Giovanni Ray? Isn't Lamar Jackson the great eraser? According to Giovanni Ray, the quarterback is the great eraser. I thought he was going to go undefeated and go all the way to the Super Bowl and everything. They're 8-5 now. I don't know. Just wondering. Bills dominate the Niners 35-10. But don't worry, Lamar will have another one of those games and you can then brag about it. Bills dominate the 49ers 35-10. They improve to 10-2. Niners drop to 4-7. And they lose McCaffrey for the year. Let's see. Vic Fangio knew we had a bad GM and a bad coach. Well, I definitely think the coach is bad. I don't think the GM is bad. I think a real coach wins a lot more games than this guy. So I like the talent. The talent's not the problem. The talent should win a lot more games if they had a better coach. So, but you will get your wish because the front office will pay the price because of the head coach anyway. So that's the unfortunate part. But I like the three guys. I'm a Mackenzie, Allen, and Greer fan. I've said it over and over and over and over again. I like the talent. I just think they have screwed up in their coaching. And unfortunately, the coach has created a terrible environment. But hey, we'll agree to disagree on that one. No, they shouldn't have kept Dan Campbell. Joseph Waters. That's a stupid statement on your part, Joseph Waters. Why is keeping Dan Campbell a stupid statement, Joseph Waters? For those of you that think that Dan Campbell could have been something here in Miami, he wasn't ready to coach at that time. So he had to go and actually go back to school and learn from a real head coach because there weren't any real head coaches here in Miami to learn from. So he went to Sean Payton and went back to school for several years, 4 or 5 years, whatever it was. And then he was better prepared to go and be a head coach and build a staff. The problem is with a lot of you is you're not very smart football fans. Henry Guatuyo or whoever else is asking this now, okay, you guys aren't very good football fans. You're not very smart. So you don't understand that part. But when he was here as an interim coach, he wasn't ready. And he would have failed miserably, and they would have fired him like so many other coaches that have been fired from here. So the best thing that Dan Campbell did, just like Mario Cristobal, was I'm going to Alabama to learn from Nick Saban. Then I'm going to go to Oregon and become a head coach, and that'll set me up a little bit better for when I get that next big job. Well, Dan Campbell needed that seasoning. And it's the part that so many of you don't understand, but because you're fans, which is short for fanatical, and you're not logical, and you don't really bring a lot of education to the situation, you ask stupid questions like this because you're not very well versed in the sport. So it happens to a lot of coaches. When they get a chance too early, they end up failing. And that's what would have happened to Dan Campbell here because he didn't have the quarterback, he didn't have the team, he didn't have the front office, and he actually didn't have the experience. So Henry and whoever else asked that question from here on out, I just want you to know you sound incredibly stupid by suggesting to keep Dan Campbell. Are we clear now? Best part is Henry's back. He's the one that started that whole video right there. Henry's back. You never mentioned Dan Campbell. Please don't mention your lame excuses for keeping him. The players loved him, and he would add toughness to the team because he was a bad dude, not a soft ass. You mean like after they won the first 2 games, they lost everything after that, Henry? Yeah. I had to do it in my QAM program director's voice. That way. By the way, when I used to do that at QAM, he had to know it was him. He had to know that I was doing his voice, because it was really his voice. That's kind of what it is. Leon Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat. Quick question. Has Mario or Guidry ever heard of Too Deep Coverage? Also, what do you make of ex-Dolphins succeeding league-wide? Leon, rewind. You need to rewind, dude. You didn't listen to the show. Go rewind. Thanks for the super chat. Rewind, then you'll get all your answers. Bieniemy was the hot coach for a while. Where is he now? Please do the rest of the show with that voice. Oscar Rojas says, Big O, let this sink in. Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins are 1-15 in the last 16 games against winning teams. Fire McDaniel and hope that we somehow land a great coach to turn it around. I think we've been saying that for a long time. We thought Saban was that great coach. We thought Jimmy was that great coach. No, wait. It's Parcells. No, wait. Gase is the up-and-coming coordinator. No, Cameron is the up-and-coming coordinator. No, Flo's the up-and-coming coordinator. No, McDaniel's the up-and-coming coordinator. You know what I say? I say we hire a special teams coach. We fail with the up-and-coming offensive and defensive coordinators. We failed with the up-and-coming, the proven NFL coach. We've failed with the up-and-coming college coach. Screw it, bro. We've never hired a special teams coach. Okay? Let's just hire the best special teams coach out there, give him the damn job. It's the only scenario we haven't hired. This is the only one. We've hired everything else. The former great coach, the great college coach, the Super Bowl winning coach, everything, up and coming coordinators. It's time to hire a special teams coordinator. I mean, it worked for the Ravens. They've got John Harbaugh there forever. What the hell? Hire a special teams coach from Division III. Probably work for us. Yes, sir.
I'm with you on the changing of going for a special teams coordinator. But instead of going for a great one, I agree with Josh and Lenny Pena. Go with a terrible one and just promote Danny Crossman right now.
That's it.
And that Lenny and Josh were the ones that
you guys nailed it. Josh, effing hire Crossman. It's like it's right there. You know, it's like crypto and the blockchain. Like a lot of you ignorant folks out there, oh, that's not real. It's like your entire financial what's it called, system is being built under your nose, and you don't realize it, right? That's what's happening to most of the world, right? They don't realize it. They're starting to realize it, and a couple of years from now, they'll realize, like, wow, I should have gone onto that crypto thing way before. Same thing here. Crossman is right under our noses. The next great Dolphins coach, and we don't hire him. That's criminal. Danny Crossman is not supposed to be coaching special teams. Danny Crossman is not supposed to be screwing up special teams. He's supposed to be coaching the Miami Dolphins as the head coach. In fact, Mike McDaniel might be a better special teams coach since he thinks everybody is special. You're special. You fumbled, but you're special. That's it. His tight end makes mistakes every week, Julian Hill, but he's special. So we're going to play him next week. That's what we do. Danny Crossman. That's your next head coach for the Miami Dolphins. That's the answer. I'm telling you, we need to go completely off script here. We've tried everything else. The only thing we haven't really tried is try to resurrect Shula, but then the back half of Shula wasn't that good anyway, so let's not resurrect him. It's not a good idea. Special teams coach. We have never hired a special teams coach as a head coach. It is time. It is time for you to hire a special teams coach now. That's it. That's it. It's the best I can do with the Pretender song. What can I tell you? Big O, which Dolphins owner said Mike Tomlin? That was during the Wayne era. They interviewed Tomlin, and they came away with he was too hip-hop. Were in that room are no longer with us, actually. Sad part is, like 75% of the people that were in that room are no longer with us, I think. Pretty much. Maybe 100. Not sure. Yeah. Might have been all the people in that room are no longer with us. President, GM, President of Football Operations. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. The owner. Yeah, no. I think most of the people aren't with us anymore, unfortunately. So, yeah, that was not good. That was not good. But that's the way it goes. That's who we are. We interview Mike Tomlin and we say, oh, he's too hip hop. Yeah. And it wasn't the owner, by the way, Devin. Let's be accurate also. Wayne did not say that. That came out of the group. Nobody was specifically quoted as that. It came out from the group that he was too hip hop. So I'm not going to specifically name one person there, but it was a collective thing that came out. but it was under the Huizenga era. But then again, Devin, you know, we're going to call things like we see it, right? Are we? How many minorities were leading Huizenga properties and businesses? Oh, okay. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Shall we? Let's not really dig too deep. It might hurt too much. George, Big O, today is Sociology 101. Today should be a day to reflect and realize that it is just a game and it takes a team working together with only one vision and stick to it. Yeah, that sounds all great, and I can pull out the violins if you want, but bro, it's a 40-year problem. So we've been beaten down with a switch with that shit, bro. You know? What are the odds we get Rizzy back? There you go, Skyler. There you go, Skyler. Didn't they name Darren Rizzi a head coach or something? Or yeah, right? See, we lost out. We lost out.
I believe he's interim still. He's an interim head coach, I believe.
Oh, that's right. He's interim. You are correct. He is interim, and it's Eberflus, right? He took over for Eberflus. Is that it? I believe. Is that the one? Okay, so we need to steal him right now. We need to interview Darren Rizzi when the season is over and hire him. That's the guy. That's the guy. If you're not hiring Mike Vrabel, give me Darren Rizzi.
He's with the Saints. The Saints.
That's right. Saints. The Aints. So go get Darren Rizzi. I'm telling you, I figured it out finally. Okay? I figured it out finally. Go get Darren Rizzi. That's it. It's the only combination that's left. It's the only thing we haven't hired. So Danny Crossman or Darren Rizzi? Poll question for you there, Sean. Pat in Nashville says, I hear Ted Lasso is available to coach. Why keep the imitator? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Get the original, not the imitation. I like that. And by the way, Ted Lasso was not renewed. The series is over. He's not busy. I like that. I like that. Yes, sir.
What was the poll question? What do you want it to be?
No.
To Rizzi or not to Rizzi?
Darren Rizzi or Danny Crossman for head coach?
All right, got it. Hold on.
Oh, man. Don Shula would have this team win 8 Super Bowls right now. Again, did you live the back half of Shula? He had Marino, and he choked like a dog. Okay? Right? And when he went up against the Bills, they folded like a cheap tent. So, you know, Shula was soft too. He started all this finesse shit till now. All right? Let's just be clear here. All right? The finesse shit started with Shula, and it goes on to this day. So, you know, let's pump the brakes. All right? Let's pump the brakes. I'm voting here. Crossman has the lead. Jeez, Crossman dominating right now over Rizzi. That's insanity. No joke, Carolina might beat us at this point. Yeah, you joke around, but that's because you're actually watching the games, Joseph. That's why you're saying that. They're actually playing better football than the Dolphins. Yes, you are correct. That's it. The sarcasm is killing me. What do you mean sarcasm? What are you talking about sarcasm? I'm damn serious about getting Darren Rizzi as the head coach. What are you talking about sarcasm? Shula's grandson is DC with the Rams. Maybe we'll hire him. Ha. He actually does a good job with the Rams. He's done a good job there. Got to give the kid credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's I hate doing this, but I'm just brutally honest. It's like the whole David Shula thing back in the day. Like, we all knew David Shula wasn't shit, and yet the Bengals would keep him around and all that. And it's the Bengals, I guess. But, they kept the Shula name around. Mike was actually a good coach, but David wasn't anything. He was probably what he needed to do, keep track of the restaurants. But it's stuff like that happens. It's stuff you can't explain. But the grandson, I've been impressed with him. Just like I'll give Mike credit. Mike's a good coach too. Mike didn't turn into be his dad or anything like that, but Mike Shula was a solid coach. He actually was a decent coach. But David, come on, what are we doing? Derek, you're bro. Derek, you want to be serious now. You're talking about Mike Vrabel, okay? We're not talking about things that make logic now. We're not trying to make sense here, okay? What is wrong with you, Derek? Huh? What is wrong with you, sir? You're trying to be intelligent here. We're not into intelligence here. Come on, read the room, Derek, here. Anthony Campanelli, that's it. The Miami Softies, that's probably what they should call us. Get Larry Zonka to be the head coach. Those guys would not last 2 seconds with Larry Zonka. He would be so pissed all the time. That would be funny to watch, actually, Larry Zonka. Watch an old school guy do that. That would be fantastic, man. That would be great. Anyway, I appreciate all of you out there, even those of you with crazy-ass suggestions. What's the poll question at? Rizzy took back the lead, 62%.
Hey, O.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Sean.
The Raptors question?
Where? Raptors Jesus Enthusiast III. That's a hell of a name. We should have given Dan Campbell his shot at head coach when he was here. I was pissed when they went with someone else. You were a Raptor? Well, let me tell you this. For those of you that think that Dan Campbell could have been something here in Miami, he wasn't ready to coach at that time. So he had to go and actually go back to school and learn from a real head coach because there weren't any real head coaches here in Miami to learn from. So he went to Sean Payton and went back to school for several years, 4 or 5 years, whatever it was. And then he was better prepared to go and be a head coach and build a staff. The problem is with a lot of you is you're not very smart football fans. Henry Guatuyo or whoever else is asking this now, okay, you guys aren't very good football fans. You're not very smart. So you don't understand that part. But when he was here as an interim coach, he wasn't ready. And he would have failed miserably, and they would have fired him like so many other coaches that have been fired from here. So the best thing that Dan Campbell did, just like Mario Cristobal, was, I'm going to Alabama to learn from Nick Saban. Then I'm going to go to Oregon and become a head coach, and that'll set me up a little bit better for when I get that next big job. Well, Dan Campbell needed that seasoning. And it's the part that so many of you don't understand, but because you're fans, which is short for fanatical, and you're not logical, and you don't really bring a lot of education to the situation, you ask stupid questions like this because you're not very well versed in the sport. So it happens to a lot of coaches. When they get a chance too early, they end up failing. And that's what would have happened to Dan Campbell here because he didn't have the quarterback, he didn't have the team, he didn't have the front office, and he actually didn't have the experience. So Henry and whoever else asked that question from here on out, I just want you to know you sound incredibly stupid by suggesting to keep Dan Campbell. Are we clear now?
This is the Big O Show. This is the